My name is Duke Ferris, and I never really grew up. I play video games for a living. I drive a silly car. I brew beer. I like to eat, and I like to drink. I'm a big nerd, so in order to impress girls, I learned how to cook. Hey, welcome to another episode of Badass Cooking, the show where we get right down to simple, easy recipes. None of this fancy stuff that the celebrity chefs want you to do. Really easy stuff, but it's still amazingly delicious. We're going to make pork chops with mustard crumbs. And of course, for crumbs, we're going to need breadcrumbs. You can buy them in the store if you want, but you can make your own. It's really easy. First, you got to dry out the bread. It's don't use stale bread. Some people say, oh, you want to, take stale bread and make breadcrumbs. Then you just get stale breadcrumbs. What you want to do is sort of lightly toast it for a long time. Bake it in your toaster oven for about 10 minutes at about 300 degrees, and it'll dry out nicely, and then we're going to throw it in the blender. All right, bread's out. It's nice and dry, crispy. But you don't want it toasted, so you don't want it to have turned to toast. Throw it in your blender. All right, boom, breadcrumbs. Make these now. Don't wait for your date. Make them now. Put them in the freezer. They're great. You can put them on top of all kinds of things. Mac and cheese, whatever you're baking. They go great on pasta. Give it a little bit of crunch. Just make a bag. Keep it in your freezer. You're ready to go. You already made some breadcrumbs, I hope. Took them out of the freezer. All we're going to need for these delicious pork chops with mustard crumbs, some pork chops, mayonnaise, mustard, obviously, in the title. Get yourself a nice mustard. Don't just use the yellow stuff. And a green onion. So just chop your green onion. Only need about that much. You want a big tablespoon of your mayo, big tablespoon of your mustard. If you want exact amounts, they'll be in the recipe, which is right over there. Right over there. Just click the more button. And that's it. Your sauce is just mustard and mayo and that green onion. And that's going to go right under our crumbs. But first, we've got to brown the pork chops. A little bit of olive oil. Give them a nice brown. You can tell when the pan's nice and hot because your oil is going to start to shimmer a little bit. All right, our pan is now nice and hot. We're going to sear these real good. Only need about 1 to 2 minutes on each side, and then we're going to put some mustard crumbs on them and stick them in the oven. All right. Take those out and turn our heat all the way down to low, and we're going to get our crumbs. We don't want to miss any part of all that porky goodness, so we're going to throw our crumbs in here to soak it all up. Give those a stir. And let that toast a little bit. All right, our crumbs here have gotten a little toasty, soaked up all that pork fat. Never let pork fat go to waste. It's delicious stuff. What we're going to do here is we're going to put some of our sauce, so sort of a mustard glue, on top of each of our chops. Then use that as a glue to hold on all our crumbs here. Remember, folks, tin foil. Always use tin foil. And you don't have to clean up a big mess when you're done. Chops go in the oven now, 400 degrees, for about 7 to 10 minutes. And they should be nice and juicy. Today's badass ingredient, cast iron. These things are amazing. If you pick one up cheap at a flea market or at a garage sale, it'll last you the whole rest of your life. The trick is never use soap. Scrape it out clean, leave a little bit of oils in there, and it's going to create this great surface that's practically non-stick. Look at that, I just cooked pork chops in it, just rinsed it with water, boom, it's clean. Didn't even need soap. Cast iron is badass. Pork chops, nice and golden brown on top, perfect, delicious, and juicy. I can't wait to eat.